Welcome to another Torn episode. How does that work? I pick up a question that I really care about, but I have no answer to, and it would take a long time to answer. And then I have to find an album that's appropriate in order to answer the question. And now, we're dealing with the most powerful girl on the list, Selena. At least from my perspective, she's the most powerful. And, the Rare album is the best one, just overall, uh, musically, that I have in my memory. It just seems like it's the best thing. Selena is simply the best artist when it comes to making music. As long as she makes it, though. I mean, she's kind of entangled in a lot of stuff, and it's no wonder why she's sleeping on the bed right now. That's what that's the thing she wants to project of like, oh, I accomplished everything. That's my best feeling. I work very hard and I want to just sleep on the album cover. Yes, but no. Also, I could have picked Beyonce's album, I'm sure, because she says the girls run the world blatantly, but that's all she does in the song. That's one line. Who runs the world? Girls, man. Stop it. Where's the evidence? And we're gonna collect the evidence and we're gonna figure it out. It's gonna take a long time. But again, we have help. And I need vibes to help me out, and that's kind of the first clue of like, shit, I will always take girl vibes. Because men just are very ignorant on everything that's going on. So those are the biggest clue. Technically, is the ignorance. Is the ignorance that oh my god, ignorance that turns into allowance for women to just do whatever they want. And let's put the first clues together because there's kind of plenty of juice to begin with, right? But I'll give you the vibe. Normally, it's like every celebrity can say that, right? But it's something that every woman wants to feel like, I would imagine. And again, we're talking about the most powerful uh, woman I was able to find. No one can compare. Even Ariana would struggle, reaching that level. Like 1,500 points is required still. Now, I'm pretty sure Selena cheated, alright? Let's be honest here. She didn't do that naturally. But there was this whole series of like beating up literally four dudes: Justin Bieber, Eminem, and PewDiePie, and then Mr. Beast. And she just kind of annihilated three of them, and PewDiePie fallen a little bit later. That's how powerful she is. And from my perspective, again, while I amplify her powers. So that is the real question, right? What would happen if a man figured out how to maximize a woman's powers and just let her do the things? And potentially, maybe that's what we're after for right now. To just kind of allow this information to take place. Because again, if we're ignorant, women want to rule the world really badly, so they're going to make a lot of mistakes. It's their time, potentially. I don't know. But that's why this question is like so powerful, right? If we answer it properly, we know how to treat them and what to give them, and they will get to have proper jobs and proper activities that would empower them and wouldn't actually damage the world in return. Because they're supposed to be positive creatures and not create more chaos and destruction, which very likely is happening. I mean, I was almost like in my head saying to myself, the girl apocalypse is coming. And I'm like, but we're in a apocalypse now. But the girl apocalypse, I came up with the term before the apocalypse. And I don't really have a name for the apocalypse. So is that it? Is that the women control this apocalypse period? I simply draw it like this. It starts at 2020, and it's gonna end at 2028. And I pretty much just before 2020, I think at 2018, I was thinking about that concept all of a sudden. It's starting to hit me, you know. And at 2019, now I'm starting to transition into this weird, where is it? Into this weird world of celebrities, basically. Starting to explore, and almost like got sucked into it just in the right time because shit is going down. You have COVID, you have Russia, and now there's a question mark because it's not over. The apocalypse continues. There's no way bad things are not gonna continue happening. And will we have to blame women for that? Are they trying to take power, take hold of the world? That's also a question. But yeah, I use this timeline, and it's like it's very accurate so far. Because COVID and Russia are different personality things imploding basically and taking over the world. So you can expect the pattern to continue. A personality will change and also take over the world in a toxic way, pulling us downwards, down to this point. Alright? Where only the most powerful people technically survive and keep their sanity. You know, everyone else just turns into trash. They have to rebuild themselves from zero. But if you are able to condense your powers, you're able to squeeze through this gap, you know, with all the pressures putting you here. And right now, we're technically having like somewhat peaceful wars. We can like give up power to Ukraine or some bullshit like that. We can ignore inflation and keep on buying things that we can't afford. Or we can get kicked out on the streets and just perish, basically. We can keep living in a place where the rent is ridiculously high. Or we might just forget about COVID entirely, which is a very bad thing because that was a very stressful thing that tells a whole different story when it's stitched together with the rest of the apocalypse. So you must not forget what has been, torturing a lot of people and changing a lot of people's lives. I've seen, plenty of changes to people just because of the pandemic, that just because they had to stay indoors all this time and watch TikTok, honestly. TikTok is pretty fucking toxic in that sense, that it was so influential in that period and just grew in influence more than anything else. So you have this whole thing set up, and technically you don't want to just give women the bad things, you want to give them the upside as well. So this would be a whole period that potentially women control while men were building platforms, social media platforms beforehand. Now AI is kind of like useless. You're just gonna generate AI porn and just move on with your life, right? So like the best thing you can do is build even better social media platform. When is it gonna happen? Only when other social media platforms fall apart. YouTube can survive under my Overwatch, and we'll see how that goes. Will I be able to save YouTube? How is it gonna look like after the apocalypse? I'm serious that way, because at the top, we had to sacrifice YouTube Rewind, because going down, like YouTube Rewind will look more and more disturbing. Like it's clear that we're not capable of capturing what's going on YouTube anymore. At least the authorities don't have enough tools anymore just to gather YouTubers, and they want to gather everyone. They want to appeal to women. And so women have noticed that potentially and started dragging things down because they want to reorganize things a little bit. But we have to explore this whole situation because it seems like it is the way it is. Why should I even question the clues? Why should I even collect the clues when everything seems to be obvious, right? You just tell a story if it fits. You have to go along with it. That's how I was able to figure a lot of things out. It's just I create a story and it just has to fit the whole situation. It just has to make sense. I have to mention this because this is probably the craziest thing I can do with my engine. Create an entire world map. And it's so necessary because a lot of data can be stored in that map. And people will start paying attention when I remake their world. I mean, god damn it. I said their world as if I'm an alien, but honestly I can say whatever I want. And it will still work. Except when it comes to, observations. When it comes to me, fuck it, man. I have too much power. I can see whatever I want. Yeah. An entire world, because I can store just simple buttons. I have Russian here. I have, T-Series represents, entire India. PewDiePie technically represents Sweden. But also Minecraft does the same thing. And maybe Minecraft represents Sweden even more because PewDiePie played it. So I could just stitch together a crazy map. It's unbelievable what I can do. Where the entire map moves around with the buttons attached to the map. Like it's some crazy thing. I am like mind blown how easy it is gonna be to do. Now, I'm not sure if I want to turn countries into big buttons. I just want to attach the buttons to the countries of what is appropriate to do. So it's like easier. But like the possibilities are endless. And storing data is even crazier. You can store all sorts of data in this map. Like, this is why you don't build websites anymore. This is worthless. Websites are just worthless now. Websites are just piles of images. They can't do shit. You cannot program. You can't even have a button that moves around like this. It's way too complicated for a website. So, yeah. Expect websites to start disappearing and turning into apps, basically. Because, we don't need nothing but better things. I mean, god damn it. So yeah, this is one of the most mind-blowing things, like nothing compares. No updates that I want to do here compares to the entire world being recreated. Because, we're able to, click friends and create friends button and click it in a negative way. We can burn friends. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, like small countries, they're not gonna do much. But there's something like Korea that has a button as well. A special button. Just so many weird things you can do. Honestly, one of the most powerful vibes you can focus on is Eurovision, because it kind of captures most of the trends of how things evolve. But I don't think I will be able to go through the entire list of songs and like I need a playlist of videos. I need a goddamn playlist of Eurovision videos Because not every country submits a video, and that's a requirement for me. If a song comes without a video, like, it's too difficult to capture the vibe. Like, it's way too difficult. Trust me. And it's like, it's so convenient. You have a mountain of videos that you can look at across time in a very specific time period. Like, Eurovision comes out at the start of the summer, right? Like, it's very convenient. So you start with a clue, with the idea that, yes, we're just ignorant and we don't understand how powerful women are. And now that I looked into it, I'm like, men are kind of just like generating content, but it's not replayable. It's not that interesting. And it doesn't leave you with good memories whatsoever. Like, yes, I've watched all the Mr. Beast videos. Does that mean I like the overall experience? I'm looking forward to the next thing that he's gonna print out with millions of dollars or whatever. Like, it's gonna be a video. I'll watch it, sure. It's not gonna be something I'm gonna celebrate. No. But if a woman fucking releases an album, holy shit, I'll immediately make a video about it. No doubt. Alright? Or eventually I'll have to make a torn episode about it. But I'm probably just gonna, capture the vibe, see if some songs are good, evaluate, and move on. This is an event, while what men do, like, I don't care that much. I don't even care about their music most of the time. But, because, like, you have Alan Walker on top and Marshmello, and they're kind of just garbage people. They're garbage people as people, and they're just garbage in terms of music most of the time. Like, 70% of the time, Marshmello is just garbage. And kind of 50% of the time, Alan Walker is garbage. Especially compared to other artists that are struggling to get 1 million subscribers, alright? Like, but they're just kicking ass. And you don't know. You just don't know. Because we're not allowing, other people to flourish. We're just like, who's the top of the pyramid? Let's just submit to that power. And it's not really good. So hopefully women can, disassemble the top 1%. We have to empower them to do that as well. See, even though women rule the world, we lost YouTube Rewind, as it's like the first thing they would try to grab away in an inappropriate way. Where it's like, oh, let's promote diversity, let's promote, the control of YouTube Rewind in the first place. We have control of YouTube Rewind. What's the first thing we need to add? K-pop! What? Oh my god. The silent, the silent part of the world, which is called Asia. But the only time they express themselves is through K-pop, so let's just fucking inject everyone with K-pop. Where did this COVID start? In China, boys. So, yeah, there's never a coincidence. Like, if you can stitch a story, like, it makes sense to me. Because every country has a personality. So if something comes from something, like, now we're talking about a lot of agendas. And it started with Lily Pons and Liza Koshy, the 2018 Rewind that just melted down everyone's trust in Rewind in general. But then what happened with the 2019 is the question, right? Well, if you listen carefully, Ariana buys Rewind, and I buy it from her. And that's it. That's what happens. You don't need to know much more than that. I like it. I have it. Alright? I want it, I got it, is the actual, but you get the idea. Because, I mean, now YouTube Rewind seems like a very cheap thing that anyone can make. Anyone can just stitch videos together, give stats out, and I could just make things look like, welcome back to 2019 Rewind. You liked that one, didn't you? And it's not really that bad. And if you can improve it, I mean, that's a nice formula. It kind of just ended in a very interesting way where the YouTube authorities felt like, okay, you guys have no ability to control YouTube Rewind because you screwed it up. We're gonna have to just create a formula for how YouTube Rewind is gonna look like, because potentially a kind of uh, disconnected group of people is gonna recreate YouTube Rewind. You know, like, you have to imagine, like, how are they fucking that smart and intuitive? But they did it. They just, like, we have to disconnect from everyone else, and it's like, wow, that's how it's gonna be made, right? So YouTube authorities first disconnected, and they recreated how it's gonna be made in the future, how it's gonna resurface itself and be resurrected. Because YouTube Rewind ain't gonna fucking disappear, bro. Nuh-uh, not on my watch. And if I succeed this year, I'll be very pleased. Alright? It's not gonna look exactly the same at all. I am talking about top 100 YouTubers here, right? Being highlighted. And it's like an upwards curve when people are getting more and more powerful. And the pictures of them get crazier and crazier. Alright? It's like at first you summon a bunch of fluffy creatures, and then in the end you summon a dragon, and everyone's anticipating, what's that dragon, bro? What's that dragon? Obviously it's gonna be me, spoiler alert. I'm not exactly sure how I will craft it so I make it very interesting and appealing to most people, but I will screw up most people's hearts, basically. I will screw it up. I'm just one person. Don't worry about it. You can't trust me with everything. But people are now stuck in this competition of who's gonna fucking remake YouTube Rewind properly. And I'm like, I know I can do it. I know I can do that one. That one I can do, and this one is like really prestigious spot. Because making a game, being a game developer is like, that's kind of trash. People don't actually like playing games that much. Because they have, again, their catalog of games. They play their own garbage. Their game's getting updated now. So you don't get to go around and explore anymore. But when it comes to YouTube Rewind, people are searching for, an alternative, if it's happening. People are at least nostalgic about it. And the end of the year, they remember that this thing happened. And there's still a chance to, recover our lost treasure. So it's just, for me, a no-brainer to pursue this goal. So yeah, it's really mind-blowing that YouTube Rewind is gonna feel very similar to 2019. And 2018 can be blamed for, like, people ruining the whole thing. Because potentially YouTube authorities just got tired and just want to see if YouTubers can do it themselves. It's like, well, we're just gonna give you the responsibilities, because fuck it. But we failed it, So, and YouTube authorities probably don't have enough leadership to pull out proper ideas and stitch it together. I can definitely do that. It's not a big deal. In fact, YouTube Rewind is going to be way longer and bigger and still way more exciting than anything we've ever seen before. It's probably going to be like 20 minutes or something. Like 15 minutes minimum. And so I have to cram in the proper amount of songs and really powerful songs, stitch everything together in the as best way as possible. Again, I'm not reaching perfection here. I don't have enough time for that. No one pays me to do that. But god damn it, I just need some eyeballs to be like, hey guys, I exist and I try to do this. Can anyone lend a hand? Does anyone want to go through training and figure out how to make it even better next year? You know, that's my point that I'm trying to make to most people. And I'm talking about this because not only I was exploring the whole girls run the world concept, or just diving into it and allowing them to do that, basically. It felt like, if you go back and you make everything real, the girls were calling me up, and it's like, wait, you can help us out, right? You can lend us the power so we at least are interconnected and we don't lose powers. Because, like, it's celebrities calling me up and nobody else. Because celebrities are always, in a position to lose power, not actually gain power, regardless who runs the world. So women just, from that position, they just, would try to connect to me and vice versa. I think it's always 50-50. Because, like, Ariana had to literally make a song about becoming single in a spectacular fashion of like, man, I'm so angry. Thank you next. Who's next, man? But why why are you doing this? Then everyone is like, yeah, she's jumping from a relationship to a relationship, and now it's like, there's gonna be the next dude. But I'm like, but I have next in my name. I even have a U in my name. In fact, if she pulls the rug and sells it, this spells out, thank you next. Well, you don't see the rug? Are you that stupid? How about now? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the rug. Yeah, this is literally thank you next, but with a rug on top of a thanks. Alright? I have noticed that. And I'm like, wait, that's pretty crazy. We finally solved the mystery, I guess. But rug pull now means something completely different, it seems. You just take what you need. I need this rug, thank you. Wow. So there's this whole obviously there's this. But this little shit just simply splits my name. It just splits my name. It's Guru and Next. That's what it is. So we literally just have it. Alright? We literally just recreated my name. And I'm like, oh, you called me Ariana. How can I help? Oh, yes, you are hot. Yes, I will stare at you for years and years, no problem. And we hang up, and now we're here. Alright? Now we're here, and she's really powerful, and Selena is even more powerful. What did Selena do? I don't know, bro. We just share a personality to some extent. It's kind of like Oppa sister, where she's an extrovert, I'm introvert, and I'm like, oh, that's a power couple now. So that's a reason to, again, check out her album in a proper context, in a really proper context of like, she feels rare. Are you sure about that? Clearly you're not rare. Everyone can have 30 million subscribers and be the most followed person on Instagram for most of Instagram's existence. So yeah, everyone can do that. I mean, why would you think you're rare? What that has to do with anything? So this is what I believe, as I've said. You can pick up a girl and empower them to do amazing things. Basically for you. All you have to do is just love them, basically. But now it turns into this trans dream where I'm like, Wait, what do I get to do though? But loving is actually like more difficult than you would think. And here's here's how it normally looks like. You have children over here. We have women who pull the children up, and then you have men that kind of pull women up so they stay in this, you know, elevated position. Men have to be even higher in that way. But because they're high, they're not supposed to be hot, because otherwise they will attract too many, too much attention, and that's a no-go zone, bro. Getting attention is like, being the king of the world, and you receive too much attention, and now everyone wants to dethrone you. That's not really good. But if you ugly king, then fuck you, bro. You can have your stupid crown while I eat potatoes and stuff. I don't know why it's so funny. It has nothing to do with anything, bro. My favorite Pokemon. Trainer. I usually say my favorite Pokemon is ketchup. Oh my god, bro. What happened? What happened? Oh my god. So yeah, you have the structure where men are always on top, but then the question is, how are women supposed to control the world if men are always on top? Well, the simple thing is, well, men might not be fully intact. They might not. Potentially, women have to like elect men. They have the power to do that, and if they're forced to do it, they're like, I guess we have to just give in to the power. So shitty men just kind of rise on top, but all kind of men easily can climb. But in this case, potentially women have so much power they can just elect whatever they want, and they can even create the gay marriage narrative, the feminism, form all kinds of fucking movements, basically, that for me, they don't seem natural. They just seem like a power takeover in a way. They're just trying to push something up here that they can control, basically, which is completely fair. All right, if you have the power, you want to be able to have control over things, because power means you have taken responsibilities and accumulated power because of that. All right, unless, but yeah, like the toxicity comes first. Women feel like they have an opportunity, so they're gonna start rearranging things, and well, toxic things happen. Apocalypse comes down. A lot of changes create a lot of chaos in general. And obviously, children will never run the world, and they can start crying about it right now. I wanna listen to their tweets, sobbing tweets, because I don't look at Twitter, so fuck yeah. You just wasted your time, kid. So, what I think is going on is, well, men have solved a problem, right? But they want to stay in power, and they want to keep generating wealth as well. But women get to decide based on what children need. They generate problems themselves, right? And if men don't want to solve those problems, well, women have to be more and more toxic and go against what men do in general, be more resentful. And I think that's happening. So we have to listen to Selena to figure out if that's what's going on. Because like she in the boyfriend video, like she's looking for a boyfriend, but the actuality of what she's doing is being resentful to men and turning them into frogs. Like how do you not see that, right? It's literally there. it's a resentment. She's not even trying at this point. She's just collecting frogs because that's what most men turn into. So yeah, this is why you would be resentful on men, because they're not solving your problems. They don't make you feel good, because what makes women feel good is that life can continue flourishing. But right now, if men grab too much power, then there's no room for life to flourish anymore. There's just inflation and fucking diseases and just toxic ideologies everywhere, right? So it's we're there. Look, we're solving this problem right now, staring at it. And again, I just transitioned into like caring for women really deeply, despite not even talking to them in real life. Like I literally can't reach out to them. What are they really busy right now? What's going on, right? Am I gonna be called an incel because of this? Am I the problem? Are you sure about that? I don't think women operate in the natural way right now, but because they're trying to do something, trying to find order in things, and it elevates them a little bit higher than what I'm comfortable with. But that's why I'm like following women, still capable of elevating myself too. And maybe I will start seeing what the problem is, because like most men are like ridiculously jacked or super smart, but they're very specialized, right? And they hold on to that power. And it's the men that hold the most subscribed YouTube channels, not women, unfortunately. But sort of rightfully so. And now, Mr. Beast is under a radar, under a big goddamn radar, because I'm going to be, trying to defeat Mr. Beast by using other beasts. Because I don't believe Mr. Beast even creates enough content to be able to defend himself as, the greatest YouTuber of all time that we ever had. I think Mr. Beast is slowing down big time, and he will not be able to keep up. He's able to harvest subscribers and followers and all that shit, but that doesn't mean that he's able to build, you know, a satisfying channel where I'm just sitting down and every day I tune in on what Mr. Beast is up to and like, fuck it, let's put it in my mouth. All right, I mean eyeballs. I mean my trash bin, because that's where he belongs. I'm joking. Anyways, now I'm gonna spend some time just doing nothing but listening to this song and playing card game and paying taxes. Yeah, it's kind of like a broken-hearted, distant from me lately, which is not allowed. Like, why you don't? How are you so floating around? And so women can probably pick up on cheating as well very easily, but you have to set up proper rules. What does cheating mean? It doesn't mean that you're with other women. In fact, Ariana Grande sings about like, okay, you can be with other women, but please, I'm your home, alright? This is where you go back to. So, like, that's kind of very, very sweet. I'll take that one. I'll take that, because I need to be with other women just to lift them up and all that shit. But there's that one that always have to be up, no matter what. Alright. Also, it's important to analyze Mr. Beast and PewDiePie backlashes. Because Mr. Beast is collecting that shit. But somehow he's triggering people by helping other people. And it makes very little sense. So potentially still, he's gonna keep on growing. And nothing is gonna slow him down. Again, my biggest gripe with Mr. Beast is that his content just is not good enough to fill in my time. He's just some dude that shows up sometime barely at all. Let's see. How is he the biggest person on YouTube? Because he's cheating. He's fucking cheating, man. He's cheating on me. Well, that's the strategy, is just to collect subscribers, and that's like, that's a dumbass fucking strategy, bro. That is dumbass. But also, like, collect views, too. But so now it's not so dumb anymore, is it? I think it's still pretty dumb. But we have to, uncover the problems. Because everyone else seemingly have more problems, so it's like, well, you have this guy who figured everything out and has no problems. What's going on? What rings my bells is like his biggest responsibility, which is making sure the money is always in the correct place. He trusts that responsibility to his mother. All right? So he's basically still, very, very much connected with his mother and giving her a huge responsibility to take care of. Because he can't trust anyone else. That's the point. She has to watch over everything. And it's a heart attack amount of responsibilities, to be honest. And if she gets a little bit of spotlight, she's gonna burn like a vampire. I'm pretty sure about that. Sure. But, yeah, so you have just people hungry for power and hungry to understand how to tear someone down now that they made it. Like, you're not supposed to grow indefinitely and reach 200 million subscribers and beyond just so easily. Like, when are you gonna share power? Everyone's trying to reach out to Mr. Beast and collect their share of, their moment of fame. But it doesn't really last, that thing. Like, it's not a permanent thing. Well, for Mr. Beast, who's growing and who has the crown, it is permanent thing. While you have the crown, you will permanently grow your channel faster than anyone else, pretty much. You have the power to do so. You can slow down to a halt because there's no threats to your crown or whatever, but normally you just grow as much as you want, technically. So it is a question mark that we have to answer at the same time, and why women have to understand how much power they truly have in this situation as well. If again, Mr. Beast can't trust anyone but his mother, so the clock is ticking. To be honest, like, what is gonna be the replacement for that person? Is it gonna be his wife? Because you know how that goes. It doesn't go very well. You give someone so much power, and they fucking steal it. It's just like that. The house of cards just collapses. Because everyone is that fucking hungry for power, and they get to rule the world. I mean, they will pull the plug on that shit really fast. So, it is a question. Can Mr. Beast tame his wife to take care of that responsibility if he has to make a replacement? One of the most noticeable thing that we're going towards, basically, and that television has been brought to life so everyone sees, even the low tier people, is the cleanliness, man. Out of all the things, this is probably the most noticeable. Because, you can't get away with this shit anymore. You can't get away with being dirty. And not being noticed, basically. And kind of shamed in that sense. And you could say, oh, we have so much extra time, we just care about first impression. and we have time for hygiene. It's very easy to do that. Uh, yeah, you have to look from my perspective too. And it's like, it doesn't matter that much unless you're taking pictures of yourself or you're going to an event every single day to possess cleanliness and trying to make a good first impression just to not be shamed. Now we're talking about something else. We're talking about obsession instead of a regular thing that's like, I go to doctor's office and it's like he wants me to look nice. He wants me to fucking have a proper hair that recently showered and whatnot. It's like, what, what do you want from me, bro? Fucking dude asking me to look nice, and it's like to dress a certain way. Like, what the? I'm just comfortable, okay? And we're not doing any work or any. We're not taking any pictures. You can take mental pictures and you don't like that. Well, I don't like that he's a fucking smoker. Out of all things, doctor being a smoker. But like, what the fuck are we talking about, right? It's this sort of a criticism problem that like whenever you try to stand out, people are gonna try to shame you down, try to do whatever it takes to just destroy your ability to have opinions in the first place. Like, what are we trying to protect here? What is going on? In a spiritual sense, this is some kind of fucking really big blockage, like a huge wall, uh, guarding basically the ability to even have opinions. Because all of this is supposed to be destructive and toxic? I don't understand how that works, man. But basically, that's another way to clean the world, is to not allow people to have opinions anymore. And things get really weird in that sense. Like right now, like even diving into politics, the most recent event that happened, some dude from UK got the really highly ranked in terms of politics, but people didn't like him, so let's fucking ban him from all the banks. Where are you gonna put the money now, basically? And it's like, what the fucking nonsense is this? How is this allowed? How I can just ban someone from your business? Everyone is supposed to be a stranger to your business. Unless they do something bad, then they go to jail. That's how it works. Customer is always right. But now we're changing the fucking, flipping the game a little bit, and now businesses know everything about us, and now we can be banned or blocked from using the businesses if they don't like us. They can just pick and choose whatever they like, whatever customers they like, which is absolute nonsense, right? So yeah, that's what gives customer power, is just anonymity. It's like, you don't know what this person wants, so you will try to appeal to their needs. They came into the store, you have to serve them. But now it's like, oh, let's face scan you, and it's, oh, we get to decide if you get to be in the store or not. So we get to manipulate whether you can have a certain opinion or not. You know, like what kind of bullshit is that going on, right? In China, it's like a mass thing where you got to keep your opinions to yourself because they potentially spread really fast, and they crush people's dreams. So you keep opinions within yourselves. But I'm not sure exactly how China operates with the social credit score system that everyone is so afraid of around here. Like, you're not supposed to be afraid of things. You should just get a better version of that. All right. If you're afraid of video games, just find the video game that's way better than what's being offered to you. Just find something that appeals to you. And the same goes with social credit score. It can be engineered in a way that is very appealing. Am I right? We only like gain points and not actually lose points unless you're a fucking asshole. Then yes, you're gonna take the negative spotlight. You're gonna go to hell basically for a few months until you make a proper apology series. All right? Until you show that you're now on the track on apologizing every day consistently and properly. All right? Because it's not a apology video is not a thing. It's always a series of like trying to undo the harm that you did that people don't like you for. All right? And at least to make your case clear. So everyone else sees what your case is and can fully judge you for what it is. Right? It's like a documentary at this point where everyone has to keep up. They have to watch the entire thing. So it's a big burden on everyone else who wants to criticize and a good way to redeem your reputation. So it's not happening for some reason. All right? Why make apology videos when apology series fixes everything? Because usually when you make one apology video, it becomes viral, everyone keeps up with that one, and then they start judging you. But when you start making a series, people will fall off like ants, bro. Like ants being sprayed all of a sudden. They're just gonna start falling. And crawling back where they came from invading your fucking home. Right? T-series, basically. Tier series, we're gonna call it. I mean, it is what it is. Because if we do apology series, not only do those things where you redeem yourself and the losers can't keep up anymore, there's another thing where you build up sentimental values. You cluster sentimental values and it makes everyone emotional and like they start deeply understanding where you came from and you understand yourself. It's like the most powerful thing you can do. So, you know. And most importantly, this will bring you to tears. Tears series? Anyone? You like that one? I like that one. In fact, that's what T-Series stands for. You don't believe me? India is a prison country. It's the most populated, most tightly populated country, so you know they live in tight spaces. And they have to trade with each other, and that's the only way they can survive. If they just focus on trading and making things cheap, making things available, like they have to be like geniuses in surviving in such tight space. And the question is like, who's fucking shitting out all these babies, right? Why India is not stopping? But that's what prison is. Like, they can't stop their instincts, right? And they would like to, spread that disease everywhere else and spread out and take over more land for themselves, but they can't do that. They have to be stuck just to keep the identity of India in the first place. And that's why it's a tier series, because a lot of people want to escape that prison properly and find a true home for themselves, right? Like, it makes me tear up just thinking about how many people there are, and I don't even know them. I'm almost crying, Like, I just know there's a lot of people who just don't belong there and want to find a better home. That's it. And it is that case because they're shitting out babies while we're just dying. We're just decaying. We're not capable of making babies that easily anymore. So we have to trust the other country to do it for us sometimes. And we will have to pay attention to India and let, some people out for our own benefit. We have to tame some people. We have to treat that as the giant orphanage, basically. But there's bad people in the orphanage and there's good people in the orphanage. And you have to really filter things out to be able to find one good person. It's an unbelievably difficult process. Well, I'm just gonna cry at this point. And I know what will make me cry. Did I do it? Yeah, I did it once. I don't remember when that happened. But there's just one song and one artist, one girl in India that just does it for me, man. You get the idea. This is really powerful song. You have to see the whole thing. You know this thing is gonna fucking push itself into YouTube Rewind somehow anyways, so stay tuned for that video. Oh shit, I cried so hard that it burst. 13% purity. Damn. That's a problem, yeah, that's a tough one. What is this song about? Well, she explains it very quickly.
Happiness ain't something you sit back and you wait for.
It's just kind of a, you know, a programmed release, from, you know, depression. You have to run away from depression. Happiness is not gonna come naturally if you don't do anything. Because happiness is about life. Happiness only exists for creatures who are living, you know, who are doing something that's somewhat productive and somewhat allows you to grow and satisfy your needs and all that stuff. Well, she chooses to dance. What a loser. But honestly, now she's kind of semi-fat, you never know. Is it fat Selena or not fat Selena? Now she's in that territory where she has to dance every day, so you better. You look tired. You look like you need to dance. So the clue is, right, and the question is, who do more things now, men or women, are more active in life and can capture more happiness, basically? And it feels like this drama with Sniper Wolf is actually quite revealing, right? The thing that's going viral on my channel is the Sniper Wolf versus Jax films, and Sniper Wolf just wins by default. And I think everyone is like, what? Why? You know? Why? And there's just a bunch of dudes on YouTube in the first place, right? So it's very difficult for them to understand how toxic they are when they just force feed themselves bromance, you know, and not much positivity at all. So you look at someone that's Sniper Wolf, she's just grinding same kind of videos, it seems like. But what I see is a lot of effort. I see just as much effort as Selena puts in her work, and just showing up every day is like competing with PewDiePie himself. I mean, Sniper Wolf is doing just fine. Yes, it's the same thing. She can't generate new crazy ideas because it's a very insecure territory that only men can traverse, but men have to understand to be respectful and not treat women as if they're supposed to be equal in terms of skills. They will never be equal in terms of skills, and that's basically a pitfall that if men fall into, they just lose. They instantly lose this game, basically. So potentially that's why women actually allowed transgender people in, Olympic competition. They allow themselves to lose, or just its overall sentiment that it's okay to lose to transgender people. But the idea is to just allow men to compete in terms of skill, and for them to start realizing that, yes, you are more powerful in terms of skill. Why is that? Can you answer that question? Is it that fucking difficult? And so the question is, yes, we are stronger in skill, So how can we compare our power levels, our influence, right? Is the is the influence level also different? Do men just have more influence? We're human beings, however, and God chose us to split us into men and women. So what? Women just have less influence? They can't do shit? Well, they have different superpowers. They just have different super. They can shit out a human being. Men cannot. Men have to focus on something else than creating life and nurturing life and whatnot. And that sort of stuff is creating somewhat of an equal dynamic because we have equal amount of time. We can care equal ways. We just have hands and legs and eyes and ears and whatnot. Is the same thing that's like makes us human beings. But then, you know, we have additional things that makes us just different enough so we focus on different things. And that's it. That's the end of story for men and women. The ultimate split. I think it's equal influence. And sometimes it fluctuates from one side to the other based on time itself. You know, that's the idea. That's why we're asking this question. Is it true? Is it fluctuating and now women have the upper hand? Influence is not one skill. Women have to look pretty and start doing all sorts of random things in life. They have to pick up skills, but they don't have to master those skills and be the best in their category. It's very difficult to be a world champion in anything if you're a woman, because you can't dedicate your time. You're gonna just ruin your heart. You're gonna ruin the biggest body part ever that keeps you connected to everything if you just dive too deep and focus too much on acquiring a skill. Men can do it because men just have to be connected to what they care about the most. You know, they get to choose pretty much what women to have closest to himself and all that stuff, right? While they do the job. I pretty much do the same thing. I choose like, oh, I'm gonna have celebrity friends. Except they have to be imaginary, because it would be too powerful to have the real ones. And I would get too much attention from the public. So I get the imaginary ones, where nobody believes in anything I say or anything I do, and nobody cares. Until I snap my fingers and fuck you. Fuck you, assholes. Middle finger up your ass. I've heard that this Lucy to Love Me thing kind of breaks the world record in a way for how fast the song was written and gotten this much engagement. I'm not exactly sure, but that's what I've heard, guys.
I'll do what I can.
I just know that it was written in like 3 hours or some bullshit like that. Which is, I can improvise songs, guys. And with the power of AI, I can just shit out songs instantly. I will be a very powerful musician one day, guys. Just you wait. I mean, one of the biggest clues is that YouTube is a platform for everyone. So where are women? Are they properly represented in YouTube Rewinds, right? How people are reacted in general of like Lillipons and Liza Koshy, man. What is that? But that was 2017, by the way. It was Will Smith, so instant representation of black people. I think it's the only time YouTube Rewind did that, pulled that black person thing at the very beginning. And, well, I mean, not only it backfired, but and made me more racist, but it also makes you question what happened to Will Smith's career because of that. What happened to his reputation? How does he feel after that? Was he ever asked this question in an interview? Like, that's something I want to hear, bro. It's almost like YouTube Rewind turn into an apology video every year, because the moment people were uncomfortable with lily ponds, then it was just an apology of like, okay, you guys get to control the rewind. Okay, this is gonna be a lot better because you decide what you like, right? That's better, right? And then we got the worst one of all time. Wow. The moment we get to decide. I wonder what it means, right? Because it feels like skills are no longer the problem. Like, skills are able to solve the problem, but if we don't know how to solve the problem, we can port as much skill as we want, we're still not gonna fucking solve the problem. It's so fascinating to me. So now we have to look for clues of problems that we just don't know how to solve. And the skills just kind of gets in the way. Is there such a thing as like unsolvable problems? Well, technically, the world provides certain tools, certain skill sets, and we master those skill sets. But sometimes there's a missing skill that no one knows how to do, basically. And women are like, please, there's something wrong going on. And if they feel ignored, then things escalate into even more crazier, and more toxic sort of environment. Because now women have to send a message. They have to be understood. They have to be heard. Even if there's a distress, if there's a problem that needs to be solved. But if you do it in the wrong way, it's like you didn't listen. You didn't listen what she's trying to say to you. Oh my god. This ring thing. She's talking about nothing marriage related. She's talking about getting notifications, bro. Oh, that one is crazy, bro. So much attention they get from men, but they don't feel love, so this like whatever. Let's just flush it down, all of it into the toilet. And any girl that actually responds, like that's a high level girl. Like actually responds. Cause like everyone gets so many notifications. Men don't get nothing, bro. So we don't get to work with this social thing. But that's what women's supposed to do. Like they're supposed to deal with social issues, and men just do their thing. But if I just feel left out and just completely disconnected, you're not doing your job. All right. So I'm not saying women are, again, doing their job properly. I'm just saying there's a reordering going on. All right, and women's supposed to have more influence, but they're not treated that way right now.
I put it down, they call me up. They doing way too much.
The doing way too much thing, kind of very interesting. It's just overwhelming, right? But the idea is like the best thing you can offer to women is to organize their attention for them, but then you just kind of steal their hearts in a way. But you can build a business where you will organize the messages they receive, the attention that they receive, that people can contribute, but they're not gonna overload. And it depends. Like it depends what women are looking for, right? And how can they use attention in the first place? So now that social media has been established, we just need to tame it, unfortunately, and listen to women of like, how can we do it? Because you kind of have the control over it in a way. On YouTube, nobody reads comments, so yeah, so much for that attention. But it just kind of everyone is overloaded in a way. And that's where I would start. I would start reorganizing comments. But you would have to look down. You have to look down and respond and show your care. Otherwise, you're not a good person. There's something going wrong. Because, like, people should have ability to put input. Otherwise, you're just out of control. You're just off the hook. you can do whatever you want. You can do the same thing over and over again and it will work out. You just completely avoiding criticism that way. And it works. It delays criticism for a very long time. People just kind of give up and be like, oh, let's worship this deity that doesn't want to talk to us but provides us with content. It's like, no. We can do much better. We must not just stay idle and pretend that we hate each other, but we love this deity. It's become a cult-like behavior. And it's another thing I've noticed. Everyone is acting like a woman, basically, that doesn't want to talk or interact with their fans. But thank you for the attention, am I right? We're just learning behaviors from women, or bad traits from them. And as we recreate that, I look at it as like very awkward and pathetic behavior. That you're not supposed to just surrender, of like how women do things, you're just gonna do the same thing. Like that is a pissy move, man. Here's another quest for men, right? Can they handle vulnerable creatures? Or are they just gonna destroy it with their, their own bad habits? Because you can have power, but your responsibility is to make sure that your power doesn't hurt anyone. It's the only way you can actually grow it. Otherwise, it will be taken away from you. More than you like. If you can't handle vulnerable people. They just kind of give into your, way of life. There's a fucking gossip channel that takes a piss on Selena for, always coming back to Justin, in a way, circling around. But, it's the longest lasting relationship, and it's like, for Selena, the smart ass, she has to always question of, like, why this lasted so long. How can I make other relationships last the same way? Right? Would we crash and burn like every time before? Like, she looks back into relationships that failed and actually analyzes everything, including definitely the length of the relationship. So if she can have another very long relationship and a very powerful one, like, that's way better than a short one that fucking crashes and burn. I mean, she would be willing to crash and burn as long as it, it's not like every time before. It's not like every other time. It's not as miserable, And especially, like, she was with Justin, she was with a person that was a fire person, basically abusive to her personality. Like, she's not supposed to be with a person like that. So, of course it lasted very long because it was an abusive relationship that she had to escape. So it's a lot more twisted than you would think. Wait, what? She says, I won't let me get me? That's a little bit different from Get It When You Want It song or whatever. What? I thought it doesn't even sound I won't. It says I will almost. It sounds like will. Oh, that's a crazy racism theory to the max, bro. Not only like, France is known for being the land of love, and then it has black people in it. Similarly, fucking US is known as land of sexuality, from the vibe perspective, from psychic perspective. And then, like, wait, so, I see now. So US is a land of sexuality, when you run out of white people, you still have black ones. Here you go. Racism just increased a little bit. You know, you gotta have all the options available, so if you fall down layers deep, like, at least you have black people that you can get blacked with in a porn movie or whatever. Congratulations. This has nothing to do, like, this song. Crowded Room, boys. Basically, she's talking about, I think, gangbang with black people. But that's fine. That's just Selena. Selena. Yeah, it's never gonna happen. Very interesting, Taylor's The Man song pops into my mind, and it's like, yes, you do run faster with a man, not as a man. But yes, you do run faster as a man, but you can't. You have to go back the same way you came from. With the power of men and women, you can go to a territory and fast travel back home. Like with a plane ticket. Otherwise, if you're traveling to a fucking mountain where no one goes, but you increased your skill level of mountain traveling, you still have to go back the same way you came from. You climbed the Everest, you still have to climb back. There's no helicopter is gonna take you, bro, from that fucking mountain. I'm not shitting around with my channel, bro. People can complain, and they double complained in one day, basically, that I make too long of videos. And it's gonna be the same sentiment all the time. But they don't understand the benefits of making long videos. First of all, I am working. I'm not just fucking streaming whatever, whenever. Alright? I have to tune in into ability to work, and then I start doing my thing. There's no schedule. It's whenever I can, I just do the work. And in order to prove that I did the work, well, that's the hour. That's the 2 hours of stuff. It's not just purely unedited stuff. I have a pause and play button. Alright, and you have to figure that out. But, if you don't have proof that your stuff is original, you might get in trouble with that stuff. And just generating ideas and sharing ideas to other people is also very valuable. There's a lot of hidden, basically, benefits for doing what I'm doing. Why am I bringing this up? Well, let's pause and figure out, because I forgot. But you must understand, this is like a genuine strategy that's very, very different from everything else that you can see, where people have to like accumulate a lot of work, and they have to get people's attention, and it's like, do you like it? But trends, as big as they are, they're gonna be replaced by something else. And streaming came into play. Obviously, with streaming, people want to see the face, people want to interact with a person, they want to see a pretty thing moving around and showing life energy, basically. Whenever they, and it's scheduled, so it's all pre-planned for when you're gonna come in, and so it's gonna be a vibrant place. The problem with that is, again, a lot of people just left alone without any viewership. So that's a pretty big problem. And a lot of stuff doesn't get saved, and you don't want to save it because you feel like it's just trash type of content. You're just sitting there and streaming for no reason. So a lot of people get sucked into this black hole of streaming without actually providing any value or accumulating any value. And people can't just look it up what you did that day. Well, they can do it with me. And criticizing me and saying that my content belongs in Twitch, you're just absolutely wrong. I would get zero viewership on Twitch. Well, here I can accumulate as much as I want. I can put as much effort as I want. I just had to figure out how to pause and play, goddammit. This was actually difficult. Because, like, other recording programs, when you pause and play, it's like, oh, oops. It corrupts the recording. And honestly, I don't believe in coincidences. It led me to use OBS that allows me to crop a place, and it looks very genuinely like professional program for free as well. So it's a very nice transition into a better thing, I would say. I was using like Camtasia or whatever, right? Some kind of editing slash recording tool, but it didn't work out. Like the recording, again, you pause and play a couple of times, and all of a sudden, the sound is off from the video, and it just made no sense. Like, you have an editing software alongside video software. I just pressed a few buttons, or one button a few times, and all of a sudden my video is corrupted? You gotta be shitting me, bro. So OBS just kind of solves this problem that's not supposed to exist in the first place, but maybe OBS is pretty cool. I mean, I get to use shortcuts, so I get to pause and play with a very simple shortcut, but I mean, we're not inventing something crazy here. So I'm just like disappointed that I had to struggle for so long just to find the pause and play button. And other people haven't even found it yet. Streaming is so nice. Everyone should do it, am I right? Nope. Nope, not at all. So that is a very interesting thing. Like, people figure out how to do something, but it's not necessarily a solution to a problem. Streaming is not going to solve most people's problems of, like, what kind of content they should make if they just want to make content. What is the baseline content they should make? You should just sit and hit record and have a pause button when you have to go to pee, so you keep the retention of a genuine viewer, all right, who wants to relate, who wants to find a friend. If you want to find a friend, you have to genuinely sit down and soak in the boring environment, but you have to pay attention and you will find, new things to think about. So while you're thinking about new things, just keep one ear open and fidget with that new thing that you found. You basically have to imagine yourself sitting in a room and picking up new material each time to be able to make a new friend while you watch these videos. So I'm discovering a new form of interaction, basically over the internet. And obviously you have to also respond to comments and all that shit. So people who discover me, they often enough can start figuring out that I'm a whole nother different person compared to everyone else. Now, the question is, will I change based on the numbers of subscribers? Probably not, because I like managing this thing to the max. So I will just pour more efforts, and it should work out. And I will just harvest in a different way. But I will start receiving tons of comments and all that stuff. I can't wait to see how it looks like, but in order to be able to see it, I have to bring down the powers that stop me from, getting my share. Because, like, if there's so many judgmental people, if everyone is a little bitch, now we're having a problem to actually grow in this environment. It makes no sense that everyone's a little bitch. But how did they learn that behavior, right? Normally, is the idea that women have to be protected, but the way you protect women, sometimes you soak in their intentions. And now you're the little bitch who wants to get into fights and do all these stupid things. Just you're an extension for a woman to have, a bodyguard, which is not an identity for you. It's just an extension of a woman, and that's pretty disgusting. That most men are just white knights defending their princesses, but they themselves are lack of identity, and often enough just have lack of skills in general. So that sucks. Or sometimes they're just fucking loners who only have skills and have no emotional capacity to improve. Because if you're emotionally aware of your environment, you want to interact with different people, you want to expand your content in different ways, and sometimes take a break, sometimes do unusual things instead of just grinding every day the same shit that keeps people engaged, but they know they're bored. Everyone knows we're just bored, and we want the new stuff all the time. And this is the stuff that I have to, unentangle as a YouTube CEO to solve all these problems that everyone else is leaving behind and piling on top of my desk. It's like, bruh, it's the same problem. You're just bringing me the same problem over and over again. Of course I will solve it. You might not like it, though, how I solve it now. Also, you have to be aware of the world. Women like to travel a little bit more than men. Men are okay, like, observing things from afar. But, well, women pick up the vibes from all over the place. And sometimes they get picked up by the wind and they travel even though they shouldn't do that. So who has the upper hand when it comes to traveling? Because you have to know countries. Alright? Why you need to do that? Because there might be a sweeter place somewhere. Awareness of the world, because the world is just simply open for exploration in a way. But you have to really know what you want. I don't understand how women fucking do it. How they're so capable of traveling in the first place. I can't move from my fucking room. So it creates such a toxic dynamic from my perspective. Like, how are you doing that? Why are you wasting money? Can you be reasonable? Can you talk to me first? So I understand what's going on? That would be very helpful. Thank you very much. But, however, women become the gatekeepers of traveling because they did it more. They have more experience. And when bad shit happens, when you need a better place, when you need to escape UK, now you have to connect to women to be able to, do that emergency transition from one place to the other. Because women can connect really quickly with the people, but men cannot do that. And right now, moving around is a thing that you have to be able to master. I unfortunately cannot do jack shit because I can't afford anything besides, unless some kind of chaos is happening. Maybe I can pull out my leadership card and, get somewhere safe anyways. But if shit goes down, like, it's very difficult. It's very difficult for me to move. Especially from my home, like, I'm now just stuck here in this corner. But yeah, like, if that's another superpower that's now very relevant, ability to move around. Because you never know when you're being exploited, when your country has a corrupt government or corrupt businesses. You gotta be able to move. And within US, you have different states with also different ways of life in a way. Yeah, because just because you have a car doesn't mean you can travel. Doesn't mean you can settle down to a different location. But you do need to find a job. Just as much as you need to socially travel. It's important to quickly establish and have enough skills that you can offer and not just become a prostitute. So that's it. We have ran down all the songs, but I'm just like confused where to go next from here. Like, technically we just answered the question, but I just kind of made myself more comfortable with receiving the answer that we're all expecting. It's like, yes, that's correct. But what now? What is the problem then? The argument is always that we need men to do most of the jobs. Like, literally, most of the jobs have to be done by men. And on top of that, and like this feminism thing, I hope it already blew over and nobody feels the sentiment of like, women should earn as much as men do. Fuck that shit, bro. What? So what is the quality that men possess? If we have more skill, we should get paid more, and we should have ability to use money to, attract women. Because that's the only thing we fucking have. Women should get paid more. Or the same as men. Like, fuck your shit, bro. Who wants to be assassinated? With that fucking sentiment. Jesus Christ, man. You gotta equalize the thing, but not, in a way that everyone is equal in the same exact battlefield. It's like, what? If you want to focus on equality, then fucking figure out how to beat trans women. Thank you very much. Anyways, the problem is, okay, so we have men doing most of the jobs, and women have to, especially past the year 30. Now that I'm 30, I'm realizing I'm kind of now toe-to-toe with women. Women have been able to do marriages, shit out children, do their thing, basically. But now I'm gonna come into play and be like, hey, guys, how's it going? What have you been up to, And all the women gonna be like fucking hiding under the bed sheets, trying to figure out how much damage I can do to their life, how much I can shame them. And it's like, yeah, I can shame you more and more as long as you hide under my bed. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? Why are you so scared? Why are you so suspicious? Now women don't have as much power. Now that I'm 30. Back in the day, like, school is run by girls, everything's fucking womanized. Well, and my brain is just womanized. To this day, it is. It's just women don't hold power because I put them in my brain. I kind of just own it. I kind of can conjure it whenever I want. And I have just as much control over them as they have control over me. Except the kicker is they don't know it. So I have almost all the control. They don't know it because, like, they can't harvest their fan bases for self-esteem. So whoever controls me, like, they can't harvest that information right now. They just don't know it. So they don't have powers anymore that overwhelms me if they hit me with feelings. Like, yes, I'll be overwhelmed for like a day, but max. I will quickly like realize what they did to me and swing back. And you can't beat me in the world of feelings that easily anymore. Because I've experienced things. What women do, in general. Like, they're not gonna surprise me with anything anymore. So, it doesn't matter how beautiful of a model you are if I can't discover you. And it doesn't matter how cool of a girlfriend you are, girlfriend material you are, if you look ugly as fuck. Or you're a single mother or some bullshit like that, right? You have so many self-damaging traits that you had ability to maintain and not give into the darkness. So now you like now I sit here, I'm like, okay, now women are losing their powers. And I'm able to take back that shit. Alright? And impress them because they need someone to guide them past 30. Like, once you hit 30, you just die as a woman? Is that it? Well, you need someone to guide you past that age. And unfortunately, bodyguards are not gonna help you move forward. And again, just a reminiscent thing with Taylor Swift's The Man. Maybe she felt slow when she got hit by number 30. So let's see it when she released The Man. Because it feels like it was exactly 3 years ago when she was 30. Is it 2020, The Man? I guess not. It was like 3 years ago, and that's exactly what I've been looking for, and that's kind of weird. It is 2020. Yeah, she was 30. She hit 30 and then released the song. Coincidence? Whoa, I'm just peeing my pants with a coincidence level. Wow, it always happens for some reason. So yeah. We uncovered another little secret, right? Women hit 30 and they realize, I won't make another decade without proper resources that they cannot generate anymore because they're bound to deal with this little shit called children. And if they stop being bound by this, they lose their identity. And if they lose their identity, now they have to compete with men. And I don't think that's easy. I don't think it's easy to compete with men while you're becoming more and more ugly. You have to now somehow... And you're telling the men that I don't want children to be home. I don't want to deal with children. Fuck that shit, you know? Because if you're still going higher as a woman and acting as a man, the problem is not that you lose the ability to make children. You lose the ability to make children happy and relating to your music. You lose the ability to simplify your craft so that children can actually pick it up and be inspired by. Despite your lyrics are kind of complicated, but you can still like simplify it of like, oh, it's a breakup song or whatever. So, but no. Men have to make really complicated, meaningful stuff that women resonate with, and so on. So if you try to act like a man, now you're a fucking lesbian, basically. Congratulations. You want to be faster, you have to become a lesbian and stab children in the facials. And become a predator. That would be a nice bonus. Children predator. Yeah. Did you came up with that when you hit 30? What happens? 30 hits hard, doesn't it? Honestly, now I'm realizing what kind of team I just created, right? The most toxic masculinity ever invented. Andrew Tate and Mr. Beast combined. You get the most toxic shit our humanity has produced. I mean, holy crap. It just beats the fucking Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Justin Bieber bullshit. It beats Smosh and it beats Shane Dawson cancellation into Jimmy Fallon obliteration. This is next level fucking toxicity, bro. You have no idea what this is, but if you know Andrew Tate, you can start peeling off the idea of these most toxic men taking hold of the maximum power, basically. And the question is, how do they do that, right? What is their formula for unleashing this ultimate power on this platform and just taking over again? So Andrew Tate actually is abusing women to the point where they're too scared because they get resources, they get money, they get recognition, they get all these things. They get scared of like losing all that power. So Andrew Tate is able to empower women to the point where they're very, very scared to lose this relationship. But that means they're truly just dependent on having this dude around to order them around. And his ideology is to like control women so they don't leave you ever, basically. And if you don't touch my women, basically. So whoever Andrew Tate has indoctrinated, he owns it, basically. He owns that woman. And it's like, how many women are you allowed to own, Mr. Tate? How rich can you get, my friends, before you start angering people to an extreme extent before you have to start cowering in fear in your little fucking corner mansion with your Bugattis taken away from you. Like at some point, you just collapse with your stupidity and your scam nation attitude, basically. Because he was trying to create a whole fucking scam nation, a whole fucking army of men, basically, who are desperate to harvest power from the world. And it's like, are you sure you want to do that? Because you're gonna harvest some fucking fist up your fucking ass. Like, he's a very smart person when it comes to, like, invading someone's mind and just taking it over. It's like, well, I'm your master, you got all these things, and I can hunt you down if you disobey, if you run away, if you hang out with other men without my permission, if you're not loyal. He's like looking for 100% loyalty. So now the question is, how does it translate with Mr. Beast? Because Mr. Beast is like on the opposite side, where he's trying to be like friendly with everyone. Is that fake? Or is that, somehow a very genuine attempt to not harvest power, but something else, like to help humanity, because that makes him happy or whatever. See, when Andrew Tate wants wealth and power, what Mr. Beast wants is maximum amount of happiness and elevation of emotions. Because, like, for him, money is, like, just a resource to spend for self-esteem. He won a lottery, and now he's just regenerating that lottery ticket over and over again. Of like, wow, if I get attention by winning a lottery, that's way better than winning a lottery because I get to sell the attention for more lottery tickets. And at some point, what's gonna happen is Mr. Beast brand is just gonna fucking run out of lottery tickets that are actually successful. The only reason why he's winning is because he's fucking addicted to lottery. It pisses me off that in one podcast, he promoted an idea of like the way to make a YouTube channel is like just buy up lottery tickets until you win, and then it pays off the channel or whatever. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean buy lottery tickets? How brain dead you have to be to say a thing like that, and you can build a scratch off lottery ticket? We have seen that on TikTok so many times. There's a scratch off bullshit going on, and no one wins for obvious reasons. But then he fucking brain dead advice throws in there. And it's like, what? Where did that came from? But it came from his fucking, self-esteem. He just vomited out the worst idea imaginable because that's who he is. He's just a fucking lottery player that's so addicted that everyone else just watches his stuff and gets addicted to lottery as well. Of like, oh my god, Mr. Beast, if I get closer to Mr. Beast, I might win $10,000. That's what's going on, bro. This fucking shit is ultra toxic, man. The only reason why these people are successful is because there's just as many stupid fucking idiots supporting their ideas. Their ideologies are somehow relevant at the moment until they are broken down and destroyed, which they have to be. Alright? This top YouTuber crown has to fucking fall into the pit of hell. And, we have to remove the contamination, and probably gonna fucking knock out PewDiePie as well. So you better fucking hide deep in the fucking Japan, Mr. PewDiePie, before it fucking crashes down upon you as well. Like, this is fucking garbage. This is promoting absolute garbage behavior. But yeah, their destiny is very clear to me, boys. Alright, while they're being saved by women, they're gonna survive. While Mr. Beast has his little mommy to protect his, money, that it goes to the right place and no one hurts him for, improperly putting money where it not belongs in someone else's pockets by accident, because people want to steal from him. His bank account might shut down a little bit because he has a trans friend or whatever. And Andrew Tate goes to jail whenever we feel like it. Oh, you have too many women still, not acting like victims. That's pretty bad. You think you own them still. You think you're still gonna spread your stupid ideology, especially attacking little girls about climate change and shit. Ah, yeah, okay. Go back to jail. A little bit longer this time, And we're gonna, think for two months of like, what can we prosecute him for? We're not even gonna do shit. This was perfect. You just sit in jail and wait until we decide of like, what should we prosecute him for? Yeah, I will think for 2 months. I don't know, man, because if we say anything, Andrew Tate is going to be like, shut the fuck up, man. You're going to be prosecuted for no reason. How about that for a fucking change? I think what Romania stands for is a land of silence. They're gonna allow you to do a lot of things. You're gonna have a lot of freedom. But the moment you do a fucking crime, you're gonna sit here and be prosecuted out of nowhere. For no reason. It's gonna be silence. You will have to deal with silence as well. The same way you had ultimate freedom because no one said anything to stop you. The same you're gonna have ultimate jail time where no one is gonna say to you what you did wrong because everything you did is wrong. There's no escape, my friend, Mr. Tate. You think you have power, bitch? Welcome to Europe. Deep of Europe. Deep depths, my friend. You can set yourself on fire as much as you fucking want, which is gonna fuel our, nuclear reactors with your fire. Little fucking Matrix state. Fuck that shit, bitch. Gonna get woke and get broke, bitch. What's that, Mr. Beast? You wanna insert a little bit of a transition into getting fucking broke? You identify yourself as a broke piece of shit? What the fuck, baby? Alright, anyways. So yeah, I don't want to be toxic person. We gotta listen to the album again, because I need to fucking relax. Relax, man. Yeah, baby. Where's Berlin anyways? Berlin is like Germany, right? He needs to be happy. He learns the fact that he needs to be happy in order to be able to, show his face. And market his face. Well, Andrew Tate has to be always angry to be able to, like, oh, I want this thing, I want that thing, I want more and more power. But it's unsustainable. It's toxic. It has to end at some point. You have to end it at some point, right? You can't have maximum power in this fucking world. So stay tuned, guys, because we're gonna eat them beasts. Alright? We're gonna feed them to smaller beasts. Fuck that shit, bro. You don't deserve the power you have. But hey, it's gonna be fun to distribute that shit. And that's gonna be fantastic ending to your stories. This is basically the end, guys. I have to fill in those last 10 minutes with something. There's nothing more powerful than fucking finishing this off. And obviously there's some toxic women as well that just rely on men overall. Yeah. Or just gold digging or whatever. Technically what I'm dealing at home here with my mom is like, it feels like fucking dealing with a giant zombie who doesn't want to get up of her ass. Just wants to receive phone calls and talk about nonsense. It's so distracting for me, and just all these noises coming out. Fucking her nose, her butt. All over, man. Her fucking playing with water. My mom is like super duper distracting and annoying. See, even at home, I could get an upgraded experience if I get a proper girlfriend who understands. Yes, you have the power, you have the influence, but you have to find it first. You know, you have to establish it first. You have to find the right guy and help him in the proper way. So for me, I'm a weak person, not because I'm weak, but I have no platform to work with. If I have to stand on my mom as a platform, this is garbage. It's all gonna fall apart anyways. It's all just toxic waste. But that's all I have. Alright, so I do have to respect her to some extent, and give her at least that one phone call or just a few farts, but I don't see anything about it. But if it happens every single day and multiple times a day, I can't handle that. You know, I have to cut corners a little bit. And that could potentially make me weaker. Potentially. Alright? If I put too much pressure on my mom, she's gonna break. So I'm playing with super duper complicated stuff. And no one pays attention. But, you know, I just have to survive and keep going. And hope for the best. I'm playing as much lottery as imaginable. And I have to take control over women. But it's all just ghost material. So no one's gonna be mad at it. You know. I drank and sang. No one heard me. And didn't had anything in my system as I was drinking. It has no flavor. Alright? It was just water. Water in the middle of forest. I drank and sang, boys. Ain't no party for me, unfortunately. Even though it feels like a party. You just got fucking jinxed. Anyways, what I'm gonna do now is just gonna vibe with Selena for you guys. I just don't know what music to pick. But I'll just click on the fucking nightcore as always.
Don't remember the words, I know how I felt. Is this trouble again? I never felt like this with somebody. I never thought I'd feel like I do. I never felt this close with somebody. Somebody but you. I never had this rush in my body. I never thought I'd feel something new. I never felt this close with somebody. Somebody but you. I never felt like this with somebody. I never thought I'd feel something new. I never felt this close with somebody. Somebody but you.
I guess that's fine, right? You get the idea. We can at least imagine that women have a much bigger responsibility to deal with right now. You know, to eradicate this nonsense and elect proper people who can solve proper problems that we're actually dealing with. Did Mr. Beast and Enter Teeth solve something? Perhaps. Perhaps. But it doesn't seem that they have the ability to stay around. Because it makes me fucking angry. Bye!